Hello again, everyone. This is Joe Henches with Beyond the Chart, and this is Stock Trade Ideas for the week of September 1st. Today is Monday, September 1st. Happy September, everyone. It does feel good to finish off August here in Texas, where it's pretty hot. It's not everywhere in the summertime, but we are going to talk about, we're going to quickly review 4 trade ideas that we exited last week. Then we're going to talk about a couple others we're watching. No specific entries for that we're going to be doing for tomorrow morning, just a couple that we're watching at this point. Okay, let's start off with Candy. We had an entry with Candy back, and we've talked about this before, on the 19th. And then on the 25th, and that was last Monday, we got stopped out on this close below the previous 2-day low, and we thought this was going to run. It didn't. This big reversal bar came in, and I thought about exiting right in here, and I thought, nah, I'm going to wait just to see if it'll give me the exit that I'm looking for. And so right in here is where we got out. And what was I think on the options, we get hit for 40% loss on that trade. So that was a little frustrating because, again, we thought it was going to run. Now we're beginning to think something else is going on here, especially with the way this thing closed on Friday, breaking this trend line, closing below it. When you look at the RSI, where did this close here? 44. It's not super negative yet, but the demand index went negative for the first time since early May, end of April, early May, so that's a negative. DI minus looks like it's about to cross DI plus. This is where I like my crosshairs. I'm so used to using the crosshairs. 23, yeah, now DI minus is 1 tick above DI plus, so we do have a cross on Friday's close. Now, typically, I think the absolute way that's supposed to work is that it's not officially a signal until, in using this anyway, until the low of Friday is taken out, is the way that indicator is supposed to work. But I like to use that in conjunction with several indicators. So anyway, we're out of this trade. We're going to just watch this right now. I do think it's pulling back down, and we'll just watch to see where it goes. No predictions at this point. And number 2, Rackspace. Rackspace, we got in back in here on August 13th. We took half off on the 19th and then exited the other half in here. And I think I talked about the reasons why I did that, because we were hitting the trend line, closed this gap, and it seemed like there was something else too. I'm not sure. And of course, it closed better on Friday, but you never know. And so we ended up with a nice trade on Rackspace, 92% profit. So can't complain about that trade idea. And then the other one, the next one is Seagate Technologies. Seagate was another nice one. We got in here, exited as I approached the high up in here, and even though I thought this was a wave 3, I didn't like the way this just struggled. I felt like it just for a wave 3 that it should have been stronger than that. Of course, I get out, and then we have a couple powerful days or decent days on Thursday, Friday, but that's the way it goes. But I'm not going to whine about the fact that we took home a profit, and that was 52% in just a few days. I'm not sure how many it was, but not too bad. Actually, 9 trading days. And see, that's the other thing, 9 trading days. It was starting to approach that point where, when I'm in a trade 10 days, it was struggling. I hadn't hit my initial target yet. And that's why once it finally hit the initial target up in here, I was like, okay, it took 9 days to hit the initial target, so it's not moved strongly. And I said, okay, let's just get out. And then the last one that we exited last week was Whole Foods. And Whole Foods was one where we got a little whipped. We talked about it. We got in here, then we got out here, reversed, thought we were rolling over here. It did not. It came back and then got stopped out again here. And I could have easily then reversed again and gone long, but I wasn't going to play that little game because right now there's too much. Once I've had 2 of them go wrong, I wasn't going to try a third one because I'm going to wait and see how this starts to work out. It could be doing nothing but a bunch of chop right now as it tries to get its feet underneath it to make a move. Now, I mean, it could pop up on Tuesday. I mean, who knows? But right now, we're out of it and just waiting to see how it acts. Okay, so that's it for the 4 trade ideas that we exited last week. So we closed out the month. We don't have any open trade ideas at this point, beginning in September. And so as I walk back through, I've got 40 plus stocks that I look at on a regular basis. I actually didn't see anything that I said, hey, you know, it's something I want to announce that you ought to take a look to get in tomorrow morning. Now, I do have a couple. Cliffs is looking interesting to me because it's pulled back, and I will talk about Cliffs in a video tomorrow. I've got a video update where I'll talk about Cliffs, Caterpillar, 3D Systems, and Stratasys. Okay, so those 4 stocks I'll do an update on tomorrow. Try to get that out tomorrow morning, early in the morning sometime. And then the other 2 I want to just take a quick look at is C-Trip. This continues, I continue to think this is in a bullish mode. Now, what's happening in here, I don't know, because we're getting this, choppy kind of action in here, and it's, making me wonder what is going on. I think we've got, this first wave here, and I thought we had like 3 little waves, which would imply to me that this is a flat. And if it's a flat, then this is like wave A. Then B would come back up a lot of times to the beginning of A and sometimes goes beyond it. Now this came back down like I expected maybe it to do, but then it pulled back up. So I'm not sure what it's doing in here. So I'm just going to, we're going to continue to watch it. But if this starts to reverse, because I like, the 55s above the 233, the 21s above the 55, everything is kind of trending, this way. And so, that's not a very good arrow. There we go. Okay, so that's where I'm thinking this is going. Now, what I want to see is this to come back up and close above the 10. Okay, and then if it starts to do that, I like the way this is just kind of like pulling back in a tight, steady little pullback. That kind of it's like a nice little counter trend type of retracement in here. So we get a close up in here. It's going to be interesting to see if that's a signal or not. So that's all I'm going to be watching for. And the other one I'm looking at that caught my eye anyway was Twitter. And Twitter's had a nice rally. And again, I think we've got 5 waves in here. I think we had a little wave 1, 2 pullback. We had a 5 wave, wave 3, and then we had a 3 wave, wave 4. When you do a trend line across the bottom of 2 and 4, put it across the top of 3, it projects out for 5. I thought maybe that was it, but then when we got this little pullback, now it went up to a higher high in here. So now, when I look at this, excuse me, I think that what we may have in here is, a little, kind of a 2, 1, 2 in here, a strong 3, 4, and now maybe we're doing the 5th wave. Okay, but again, this would be of a 1. All right, so I'm thinking this might be a 5 wave 1 that's forming. Now we'll have to watch to see, do we get it to turn and come back down and do a retracement. So that's what I'm kind of watching for here on, and it's running into this previous, this was support that got broken, okay, so it ought to become resistance, and that's what it hit on Friday. So it'll be interesting to see if this turns this back down and this corrects. Now here's the thing, if this is a wave 1, okay, if this is a 5 wave, wave 1 up, it can correct 50% or more of this correction. Okay, and what is that? Let's ballpark it, 30 to 50. Okay, well, that's 20 points. It could correct at least 10 and more. It might come back down and close this gap on a correction. Okay, so that's just some things to think about, and we'll just have to watch on Twitter and we'll go from there. And we'll just keep an eye out. If we have some other trade ideas that develop during the week, of course, we'll talk about them and post them on the Trade Ideas webpage. Oh, by the way, make sure you check your email, because on the Trade Ideas page, I am updating the password, and I'll have that in the email too, since it's the first of the month. All right, this has been Joe for Beyond the Chart. Everyone had a great week, and we'll be back on Wednesday. Of course, I got the update video tomorrow, and then we'll be back on Wednesday evening. Talk to you soon.